Today on the show, we are talking, it's actually a bit, I don't know, when I put these things together, sometimes I'll see a question and then the next question I was like, oh, there's a bit of a theme here. But we're talking mat leave. What are we doing with our financial goals on mat leave? Couples and money. How are we managing money? What if there is a couple with a relationship age gap, which is common, it's out there, and investing brokerage accounts. And there was a bit of a scandal in the Facebook group for the community segment of the week, and we'll get to that very soon. But I am joined today by Rach Kroon, host of the This Is Property podcast, and my co-author of the book, The Quick Start Guide to Your First Property. Rach, welcome back to the pod studio.
Thank you.
You ready to have a crack at this?
I'm really ready.
All right. Well, do you want to have a look at Anonymous and we'll get the ball rolling?
Okay, Anonymous is 36, currently on maternity leave and receiving 12 weeks of paid parental leave plus a pro rata bonus. I'm planning to return to full-time work in February next year. I earn $140,000 a year plus bonus, share portfolio $50,000, super portfolio $160,000, a joint mortgage of $600,000. The property is valued at $850,000. A joint offset with $350,000 in it. We're planning to sell our current home and buy another property for around $1.5 million. If you were in my position, would you, 1, salary sacrifice into super to reach the $32,500 concessional contributions cap, 2, invest extra funds into ETFs, 3, keep the additional money in the offset account, especially with a larger mortgage on the horizon. For context, I'm a long-term investor and generally don't sell my shares once I've bought them. Keen to hear what others would do and the reasoning behind it. Thanks.
Lots going on here, and I'm going to talk everyone through my process of thinking about questions when they come in, more from a financial advisor type vibe, a what would Glen do type vibe. Then I'll get Rach's view. The first thing is when people put questions in the Facebook group, and we love it, there is just so much context that isn't missing. So, for example, what's the partner earn? What's the partner's age? We want to know, you talk about salary sacrificing to super to the concessional cap. Well, what amount is there between your current 12% SG and the cap? I've just kind of had to assume around $15,000 based on 140K income. And even on that, we don't know if that 140K is a package or base plus super plus bonus. So lots going on here. I don't know if it's the first child or the second child or the fifth. We don't know that. We also want to know how this $350 of cash got in the joint offset account. Was it an inheritance? Was it saved? Was it, who knows? I'm assuming it was just saved over the years because clearly they're crushing it.
They are crushing it.
I remember commenting on this in the Facebook group, and I pretty much wrote along the lines of, what about we pause for 5 minutes, get you back to work, then we'll put a strategy in place. Like, we're literally on mat leave. This episode is up at the end of July. We were recording at mid-July. We record within 2 weeks of things going up. Like,
You've never been a high-performing woman on maternity leave. Our heads go 100 miles an hour.
I know, and this is why I want to get your view on this because, number one, our show, the listeners, have a skew towards being high-performing financial people, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I love that. But why, like, just in my mind, take the foot off the gas for 10 minutes, just accrue cash for the next 6 months against your offset, like on the mortgage. Then when you're back to work, then when the budget resettles, because we've got another child, we're on mat leave, what's the actual figures look like? And they might know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But my thoughts, this is what others would do, and the reasoning would be absolutely nothing. We build cash. We enjoy being a mum for the second time or the fifth time or first time. And then we go, okay, what does it look like? And then secondly, we're planning to sell our current home and buy another property. Okay, if that is the actual financial goal, again, we are focusing all our effort into getting that thing done. And that might be stopping or pausing South Sac for a minute. It could be stopping investing for a minute. It could be literally just don't do anything. Just focus on getting that goal done. Literally, that is what I'm doing. So, but one thing I wanted to ask you about, if they were to get, so if they did, so we know the house is worth $850. We know we want to get to 1.5 as a purchase price. Can they, if they were to call Sphere Home Loans, can we get a mortgage in play while someone's on mat leave?
You can get a mortgage when someone's on mat leave. It doesn't stop people, and a lot of women, when they're on mat leave, they have a million ideas of what they want to do, and a lot of people do invest or upsize and do things when they're on mat leave. I'm not suggesting it's a great idea. I'm just saying you can. So you don't need to necessarily not be able to make moves because you're on mat leave. It's about the whys and the plans and other things.
Because I'm often, and I kind of see a bit of this person in me, right? Like I'll go to Bali for a holiday and sit beside the pool, relax for the first day without doing anything. And my kind of relaxed threshold's interesting. If I did 1.5, 2 days of doing nothing sitting next to a pool, I'm like, oh, I feel so good. All right, it's time to go again. And we start thinking about different projects and all that. But what are you doing in this situation?
Oh, there's two big things here. And I just want to say to Anon that I alphabetized my pantry when I was on maternity leave. So when you take a high-performing person and put them in a place where a lot of people can enjoy the quiet. I think a lot of people want to get all things done. And people actually, I can see you're trying, what should I do? What am I? So that thought process, I think, is really normal of wanting to do everything while I've got that time to think about it and plan out. But what I would think about, the first thing that really comes to mind is that purchasing of the next property. That's a really big plan for you. So I would do nothing that would jeopardize that goal. And you've got this mortgage now of $600, but you've really only got a mortgage of $250 because you've got $350 sitting in offset. So that's a very different financial position to when you actually buy for 1.5. Let's say you put all of your money into offset into your mortgage at that time. You're still going to have a mortgage of $950,000, which is substantially bigger than what you've got now. And if you don't have that money in offset, if you were to put that in ETFs or do something different, that mortgage quickly goes to 1.2. So I would want to, if it was me, I would want to get that goal of getting the home first, see what my mortgage felt like with that money in offset, and then make a decision of whether I pay that loan down, whether I use those funds. And I'd really want to understand how my new world looked in the new home with the new mortgage before I made any decisions.
And the extra costs of the extra child.
Yeah.
And maybe some care, maybe the actual mortgage cost.
That's right. But offset is the most fluid and liquid place to keep your money.
We were having a fight before we hit record. Because we were just planning this, and I just casually said to Rach, I'm like, all right, so they got $250K equity in the property, right? And you're like, no, they got $350 in the offset. And I'm like, just stop. We'll talk about it when we're rolling. So my instant, when I'm looking at situations, I see I literally look at mortgage of $600. We'll pop it back on the screen now so people can see it again. Mortgage of $600, $850 value, $250 equity. Because what if that offset was spent tomorrow? If there was a $50,000 emergency, so I get what you're saying, but that was why I said that comment before.
Yeah, where I always think so many people save now and put their extra repayments in offset, knowing that they're going to be doing different things. So I always look at the mortgage, take at the offset off.
Yeah, and the elephant potentially in the room is, they don't sell their shares, but you've got $50K of shares there. I'm probably potentially, when we do get the new mortgage, you've pretty much borrowed $50K against your mortgage non-tax deductible to buy those $50K shares. And I don't know if we need a reset or we don't touch that parcel. And then we look, all right, so we want to make sure all debt in our life is tax deductible. There could be a little shuffle there. And then, and this is where we just don't know. Like, what do you do when all decisions are good? Well, we vibe it out to see what's going to suit our lifestyle. But I'm probably not worrying about 1 and 2 of salary sacrifice and investing into ETFs until the mortgage, the new home and all that's put to bed. It could be more maintenance costs, like gardens, I don't know. We just want to get the budget set back up in the new reality of the new house and the extra child.
Yeah, and that bigger mortgage, when it's substantially bigger, you really need to recalibrate and understand how your budget looks with a bigger mortgage before you start to think about other things. If that's your primary goal is upsizing, and out of everything that looks like the primary goal, that's a substantially bigger mortgage. So let's have a look at how that feels first.
Yeah, absolutely. But 100% crushing it.
Yeah.
And I get it. You want to make actions, but it's July now. Just you're still making progress by not spending money on rubbish and just keeping it on offset.
And if you need to have goals, I would definitely set up a separate offset account and give yourself goals each time of what you want to actually put away. Because if you need goals, set them.
Yeah. So this questioner should reach out to Sphere Home Loans. Rach Kroon is director and founder of Sphere Home Loans. They're a great supporter of our show. If you are after looking to upsize, side size, downsize, maybe you just need a professional broker to run their eyes over your mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage broker, Sphere Home Loans are here to help. They help listeners all over Australia. There's no cost to have a complimentary call. Do you still do like the little
I still do.
the strategy?
We've actually just had our new website go up.
Interesting.
And you can book straight into my diary now with a strategy
So
call.
you'll have an actual chat with someone?
So I do the 20-minute strategy calls. I don't take on new lending clients, but I do have the strategy call, and I love doing that.
Yeah. So there you go. If you want to go to the spherehomeloans.com.au, book a 20-minute call with Rach, and she'll go, yep, I think we can help you. Here is this broker, or no, go back to your own bank, or just sit tight, come back in 12 months or something. Sphere Home Loans, good friends and supporters of the show. Thank you so much for your support, everyone. Let's get into the rest right now. Before we get into it, this show is general advice only. I've got a license to provide that advice. Full details can be found in the show description. My name's Glen James, former financial advisor. I host this show and a show called Retire Right. I've got some books, the award-winning Quick Start Guide to Investing and the Quick Start Guide to Your First Property, available where good books are sold or in the description. If you're new here, welcome. If you're an old hand, welcome to M3. Let's get into it right now. Okay, this is what I wanted to run past Rach because I think this is fascinating, and I actually think I said something like this to you when we were in the car the other day going to Sydney. I'll refresh your memory after this. But would love to hear how other households handle this. We're setting up a money spending plan / budget together, but my partner isn't overly keen on being involved in the details. They're happy just to transfer a set amount to cover bills and expenses each month and leave the rest to me. Has anyone else navigated this? Curious whether one person tracking everything works long term, and if there are ways to get a partner a bit more engaged without becoming a whole thing. Also keen to know how you organise day-to-day spending in this setup. I'm presuming a joint card. We currently do this with a credit card, but both get a little spendy with the free money idea. Would appreciate any tips. You're a married lady.
I am.
You and your wonderful husband, we've talked about this. You have wildly different money personalities.
My spendy husband.
Your words, not mine. And in the car, I was like, if I get married, I'll be literally like, because obviously opposites kind of attract.
You're spendy.
I'm spendy. I'll be literally like, you run the budget. Just give me my $500, $600 a week. I don't care. Like, because I know, while I teach all this stuff, I know my own proclivity. And I think I'll get your view. But that's kind of what I was saying to you, because I'm like Andy.
Yes.
If it's got money, if there's money, it grows legs and walks out.
It does. Now, I think it's a really good conversation for people to have before they, start buying homes together is how are we going to handle our money and what's our relationship with money? You need to understand yours. But before you start, joining finances or even joining assets with a partner, you need to know theirs too. And you need to have a real and honest conversation about how you're going to manage your money. Like I see you saying, what should we do? Should we do a card? Should we do this? I think the bigger thing is the conversation.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and have a conversation about money and how we run our budget, whether these little things are just tack-ons about whether you do this or that.
Yes, it's strategy versus tactics, and the card things is just a tactic.
It's just a thing, right?
Yeah.
So we can do this or we can do that, but we need to sit down as a couple. I just said we were a couple then.
Yeah.
We need to sit down as a couple and we need to talk about how we manage.
Wish, Rach.
Hey, it would have happened if it was ever going to happen.
In the last 15 years, it would have happened. Glenn.
Yeah, that's right. We've both been single at the same time.
But yes, no, I do know how to manage a spendy man now. But when you have that conversation about how do we manage money, I think one partner can manage the money, but you need to both be on the journey together. And I think you need to have a real and honest conversation about how you're going to do that. And it will be different for everybody. I don't think anybody can advise you on who should manage the money, but I think the conversation has to happen and we need to have a joint goal and some joint decisions that we make. What do we do if this $500 spend? Do we have an agreement of how that happens?
And I think as well, it's because how many times have we seen it later in life, someone dies and the remaining partner's like, I don't even know how to log in and pay a bill. So there needs to be this, we full on are responsible for this. And so the partner here who is not quote unquote interested, well, you're a freaking adult. You need to actually grow up and pay attention to this.
Yeah.
They will sort the bills out. But here's what's happening. What's your view on this? And they could be like, oh, I don't care. Okay, well, I'm doing this, just letting you know. Or I think we should do this. So I think it's about, see, the problem over the years when I've seen couples with money, the problem isn't that I'm doing this for us. It's I'm doing this and I don't want your input and I'm going to look after you like a child. And then the other person might be okay with that, but you just really want to make sure resentment doesn't walk in the door over time or anything like that.
And when you said the word resentment.
Or dickery.
Yeah, resentment is what I thought of because it's a lot of pressure. If there's one person, I see this time and time again, if one person has the financial weight of the family on their shoulders, resentment builds. So you might be really good at it and you do it, but you will end up resenting that if you don't have buy-in and a bit of, engagement from your partner with it.
Yeah, so 100%, I think it's totally cool for someone to be the driver. And I always talk about this. You want that person, if you're the driver, they're in the passenger seat. They're not locked in the boot. They're not on the trailer out the back going for a ride. They're an active shotgun seat vibe.
Yes.
Because we're all adults. And this is the interesting thing, like our show and the Facebook group does attract people who are dialed in with their money. So for every person listening who's dialed in with their money, there's probably another person in their life who isn't as dialed in because every time we go to a show and we do a live podcast and someone drags their partner along, I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Glenn. Oh, yeah, nice to meet you. I'm like, so who's the main listener here?
Yeah.
And usually because we've got a high skew to women, she'll be like, I am. And I'm like, oh, so you're the drag along. Nice to meet you. I'm really sorry. And oh no, I've heard you in the background. And like, so I think it's just that communication thing. So if we go to strategy and knock that away, in terms of the tactics, over time, I've kind of been a bit agnostic to this. I agree that we're not doing a credit card for everyday purchases in this situation.
I don't like credit cards at the end of story.
Like, I don't use them for everyday purchases. I've just got my Visa debit card or MasterCard debit or whatever the hell it is. You don't use credit for everyday purchases.
I don't have a credit card.
Right.
So I haven't had a credit card since I was 22.
Does Andy?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
If he has one, I don't know about it.
Actually, Andy's just written into the show. I've got a question for him.
Don't tell Rach about my card.
So I think we're not doing that. And there's really, and this is going to be relationship dependent, and I keep teasing everyone with a good time, but I am really still trying to get my head around to reshoot the Glen James Spending Plan online course. The reason that's held me up, because I've had a few people comment around this type of situation and my spreadsheet, and I don't want to deviate my spreadsheet too far to accompany everything. I want to teach broad concepts. So in this situation, I'm presuming a joint card. You could try that, or you could do weekly spend card each. So if you wanted to buy a little treat for your partner, they're not going to see the transaction pop up as a thing.
Yeah, and I see a lot of young people that are joining their money and they want to keep separate accounts. They have their salary accounts that their money goes into, and they have a joint account for bills and other expenses, and they might have a savings account that's joint that they both put the same amount into, but they in their salary accounts, that's their private account that they can buy things in. I see that really regularly. I think that it's nice to have some financial independence in different places where your partner doesn't see every transaction.
Yeah, and I think in terms of emergency funds as well, I'm okay if there was the household emergency fund of $30,000, half is in one person's name in its own online saver, the other half is in the other person's name for a variety of reasons. Someone fell off the perch and there was an estate issue and you needed access to cash, whatever, you've got that. We talk escape funds and security for any type of domestic situation that comes up. I'm all for that. And in fact, a lot of the time people are like, well, we don't share money. And I'm like, well, you've got a joint bills account and you've got a joint mortgage. We kind of do, but so strategically you're together, but the tactics are just slightly independent.
Yes.
So, but I'd be more than happy for someone to run my household budget.
I think someone should run your household budget.
Honestly, I'm spendy. And to be frugal, it's a skill that I don't have. But the Glen James spending plan was developed to help people like me.
Yes.
So it gives me the guardrails to be able to save and quarantine, but it also gives the spenders permission to spend.
And you need permission to spend because it's that psychology. If you're, I've seen couples have a lot of problems where one is very controlling with the money and gives the other a very small, allowance, and they end up blowing up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're married to a child, like metaphorically, don't like what the hell's going on?
Yeah,
like we're two adults here. And act accordingly. Similar to when we always have these discussions. Are we fighting today? Oh my gosh. So my investment properties, right? I'm not as hands off as you.
You're very hands on.
If there's $1 million asset there, that's a lot of flipping money. I've got a responsibility that the buck stops with me. And that's the same thing with like the budgeting with couples, right? You've got a big income, both got a big income, outgoings, ingoing. You've got a responsibility to keep an eye on it. I had a client once who, I'll tell you a story later. Remind me, can't say it on record. But the wife, the husband, and this is why I'm like hyper vigilant to like everyone, you're all adults, pay attention. He was I'm going to work, you manage the money, darling, 400 grand gambling debt.
Oh my gosh.
Mortgage, redraw, like all that stuff. Like I can tell you I've seen it all. And that's why I'm like, so while he was out working and was like, oh, she manages the money, go for it, darling, or trust you. Well, a big shock to him. Gets a foreclosure notice and there's 400 grand hole missing and it's because of the gambling addiction.
Oh my gosh.
It happens. It's not a man thing. It's not a woman thing. It's a people thing like any addiction. It's a medical issue and also stop gambling ads, all that stuff. But like, yeah, it's wild. So if he was, again, front seat passenger, he could potentially have observed things.
Yes.
And noticed it. But if he was sitting in the back, I'm just working and all that, you're not noticing. And if you turn back time 4 years, could have picked up on it and sorted it out. Just really sad.
Yeah, and both people have a responsibility to understand the financial position.
100%. All right, do we flog that dead horse enough?
We did.
All right, let's be back right after this. Okay, we're back. The communist section of the week. Hello, fellow comrades out there in the Facebook group. This is where we put thought-provoking comments in the group. If you want to join the group, make sure you put, I heard Glen and Rach on episode 930. About 70% of people that come into that group are spam. They're bots. They're not listeners. So if you put, I heard about the show and the group in episode 913. So we've just put up, maxing out super, but still driving a 215 Corolla. what are you sacrificing to build wealth? Now, in true Facebook forum chat style, I mean, it went in an interesting direction. Everyone was like, what's wrong with the 2015 Corolla? Like, you're missing the point. Like, don't bury the lead. That's now what, like a 11-year-old car, right? Still pretty new, right? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Don't know why I'm having an aneurysm.
It's not a 2003 Corolla.
That's right. But like, so it's not the fact that it's a 2015 Corolla, which will not die. It's the fact that you choose to drive an older car and invest your money. So we asked people, what are you sacrificing to build wealth?
Okay. Anon says, maxing out super but sacrificing my sanity to work in a leadership role for the government.
Anthony, again, maxing out super and driving a 2004 Corolla. Jeez, get a life, Anthony.
They never die.
Get a life.
Anon
Also,
says,
don't do what you want.
Do you Anon says, you have a car?
Yeah. Jackie?
Jacques.
Is it Jacques?
I don't know. Sorry.
Sorry, Jacques. I'll see your 2015 Corolla and raise you a 2008 Corolla, 340K on the clock. It's still a boy. Still good to go.
Lynn says, new clothes. I op shop or just don't buy new stuff and all secondhand toys, clothes for the kids, pack lunches and barely go out for dinner. We also have allergies in our house, so honestly, it's easier not to go out. But I don't skimp on holidays because life's too short.
Amen. Anon, sold our Toyota Kluger to downsize to a Yaris. People thought I was crazy for getting a smaller car with a baby, but the fuel economy means we aren't stuck at home. That's a good trade-off.
Anon says,
Don't know if it's about building wealth, because if we're going out, we're spending it, but love the vibe.
Anon says, not holidays, life's too short. My dad passed away at age 61.
Jeez, early, young. Dan, I don't own a car at all. Living close to public transport has its advantages. Absolutely.
Anon says, a wardrobe full of new clothes, beauty standards like being whole body hairless and perfect brows, because let's be honest, few gents offer that package.
What the hell's going on here?
Oh my God. And drinking more than one wine when they are $18 a glass.
Okay. Maybe I'm old. Few gents. Whoa. Kalisha, net worth of $1.3 million plus driving a beaten up 2006 Honda Jazz with 375 Ks on the clock. So I would say it's working. The newer car pull is strong though. Look, Honda Jazz, rock solid. Am I right?
Yeah, clearly. 375,000, that's a lot of Ks.
Amazing.
Lachlan says, sanity, not traditional family not traditional family time, both working shift work, opposing shifts, days off to not have childcare and maximise shift penalties, but we are looked at like we are crazy when we only have one full day off a month together, but not having a traditional weekend.
Yeah, right.
They're definitely sacrificing time.
EJ said, maxing out super but still driving a 1961 Holden EK Special. That's probably like the inverse. Will start costing money. So there you go, the communist segment of the week.
What are you sacrificing to build wealth, Glenn?
Nothing, because I spend it all. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. What am I sacrificing to build wealth? Do you know, are you sacrificing anything to build wealth?
Look, I'm at a different stage of life now, but I do remember the days of a lot of sacrificing, and I don't think I would be where I was.
What's a different stage of life?
I'm in a different stage of life. So
is that because you're rich and successful and you've made it?
Just a different stage of life.
Rachel's very successful, everyone. Makes me feel poor. I like it when I embarrass her. It's great. Yeah, okay. Interesting. So I'm in one of the stages where it's just a bit of I'm on mat leave, wait till February till I do my thing vibe.
Yeah.
Because I've just come out of sacrificing a fair bit to build this
You
studio.
sacrificed to build this studio.
Yeah. And I reckon it probably, the fit out for both rooms, it has to be $250K. And I cash flowed it.
Yeah.
And even the other day, because I'm like good with money now, gooder than the Glens in the past, I really wanted to focus on getting my business back off the ground after a couple of crap years and all that stuff. And so I did all the renovations. And then I was going up to a conference in the US in September and I just didn't vibe going. So I wanted 4 new cameras downstairs here in the studio. So I cancelled the America trip, and with the refund from the air ticket, I bought the 4 new cameras.
Well done.
So I did sacrifice a bit of a conference and travel. And I'll tell you another thing in the after party of what I've done recently that's been a bit of a sacrifice too. But I think it's just making a judgment call. And for me at the moment, 16 grand of cameras, I would rather sacrifice a conference than spend another 16 grand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I certainly wasn't going to cancel it and go economy.
I fly economy.
Rach does. That's why you're rich.
I do.
That's why I'm poor. Because I spend it. I don't care. Whatever. Don't actually care.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au. And they'll point you in the right direction.
All right, let's get on with it.
Hi, Glenn. I'm 35. My husband is 47, and we have 2 children under 3. Our home is worth around $1.25 million, and we owe $639,000 on the mortgage. We hope to use our equity to invest in property, but our borrowing capacity isn't high enough to make that work. Given my husband's age and the fact that he's a tradie, we'd love for him to be able to step away from the tools or reduce his workload by the time our kids are school-aged, but it seems hard with the huge mortgage. If you were in our position, what would you focus on over the next 10 years to build wealth and reduce our mortgage sooner?
So we've got – okay, so the 35-47 – and I know I lumped it in following the last couples and money question and then this age gap relationship thing. I don't actually think it's a big deal for this question.
Okay, yeah, age. You're both young.
Yeah, because Andy's a little bit older than you.
Just a little.
And he's your senior a little bit.
Zaddy, if you will.
A zaddy? What's that?
It's an older daddy. It's a from a comedy skit.
Okay. So you've got a daddy at home. I want to call out to them that given my husband's age and the fact that he's a tradie, so there's a couple of things like what's your husband want to do for a career? Like that's the first thing. It's like if he's and this is the dumbest example, but just the vibe, he's the builder or whatever, really good with tools. Okay, can we get off the tools and do TAFE teaching? Like, can we make a pivot? Can we become a rep for Milwaukee? Not that they might want to. But like, can we do something industry adjacent, get into project management?
I was about to say project management.
Like, I don't know. So there's that thing there. But I mean, a 47-year-old and even a 35-year-old, we don't know their incomes. I mean, if their incomes are both $70,000, we might need to have a chat. But I'm not stressed out about the 639 mortgage because they've got 50% equity in the property.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's maybe reach out to Sphere Home Loans and just make sure they can run their eyes over it just to make sure we're on the most compelling rate. So to the points, like if you're in our position, what would you focus on over the next 10 years to build wealth and reduce our mortgage sooner? Well, there's one way to reduce your mortgage sooner. Do you know what that is?
Pay it down?
Pay more onto it. Like it's like literally not a trick question. Asked it like it was a trick question. But I'm focusing on the career for both.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
You're both young still. So I don't think so. 47, you're talking about, it's hard when doesn't want to be on the tools. And I can see that. But I think your earning capacity at 47 is very important. And with a mortgage of that size and you've got young children, you've got a big career. You've got a lot of 20 years of career ahead of you. Are you doing the best thing that you can be doing for your income with your time?
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I actually just Googled the definition for zaddy.
What is it?
A sexually attractive man, especially an older one who is fashionable or charismatic. I might become a zaddy one day.
If you will.
Don't know if I'm attractive. Okay. Yeah, I'm focusing on careers because you're not going to, like with a home, we don't know where they live, but a home worth 1.25, well, I don't know if even if we downsize to scrape out 250K, we're still going to have a 400-ish mortgage with maybe a smaller house, and the difference between a 250 and a 650 mortgage, it's not going to be huge.
And the thing is, paying your mortgage off is not a wealth creation strategy. I think paying your mortgage down is great, but you need to be doing something else as well. Where investing while you pay your mortgage down is very important.
Yeah, and they said like we want to use equity to invest in property, but our borrowing capacity isn't high enough to make that work. Well, back to my exhibit A, I'm focusing on careers.
Yeah.
Which could, in a few years, if we have to do a bit of a shuffle, go back before we go forward, could fix the borrowing capacity issue.
It could. And also you've got 2 small children.
Yeah, under 3.
That's a tough time. That's also an expensive time.
I think they need permission I kind of always say it's like the first 5 years until every kid is in primary school might be the most juggling.
Yeah. But I also think, I
don't have kids.
But what you said is completely right with career. At 47, if you're working with your hands every day, you might say, I don't want to be doing this in 5 years. Well, let's think about your career now. What do you want to be doing in 10 years' time?
Yeah. And reduce his workload by the time our kids are school aged. Yeah. I reckon 2 children under 3, like that's young.
That is young.
Let's just focus. Let's forget the mortgage, forget investing for the future. Let's focus on the tradie's career. It doesn't say that she is hating life and her career. But yeah, over the next 10 years to build wealth and reduce our mortgage sooner, well, over the next 3 or 4 years, sort the career out, then we can deal with the next 7. We're still young.
I agree.
This is good. So thank you so much for having a chat about that in the Facebook group. Okay, Rach, Shiva. Hi, Glenn. And Rach, I guess. I have a question regarding the grandfathering provisions for negative gearing in the federal budget. Given that properties purchased before budget night are exempt from the new restrictions, what factors are driving some investors to rush and sell their investment properties?
Do you think people are rushing to sell their investment properties?
I don't know. I do think one thing, I see this and it is confusing, and I don't know if Shiva, we'll talk about it just for education purposes. So this question is conflating 2 things, the negative gearing grandfathering,
Yes.
but the capital gains tax change at 1 July 2027. So they're two separate things. So in the ordinary course of business, we've got a property that's negatively geared. Well, we don't need to rush to sell this for whatever reason because we just keep it status quo. But we know if we sell a property after 1 July next year, the portion of the property held from 1 July 27 to sale, the cost base from 1 July will have the indexation only method for the CGT discount.
Yes.
So how that works, and I will draw it, and I'll try if someone's driving to work, watch the road.
That's great, because I think there's a lot of misconception about
Yeah,
this.
so let's do 20, everyone. Let's do 2010, we'll do 2026, and we'll do 2036. So if we purchase the property in 2010, it's now 2026, the budget change. Next year in 27, so we've got a year there. And then if we sold the property at 2036, what we need to, number one, do is on the 1st of July 2027, if you have got an investment property, you need to get it valued then.
Yeah.
We'll say we purchased it for $500K. We value it in 2027 at $1 million, and we sell it for $1.5 million. Didn't do that well the next 10 years.
I can see it.
At 2020. So basically what happens is between 2010 and 2026, when it's sold, the $500K growth to 27 from purchase will be the 50% discount method. And then the amount from the valuation, $1 million at 1st of July 2027 to $1.5 million, that increase there will be the inflation method, okay?
Which over a 10-year period you would consider would be quite similar, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like it's not going to be that crazy. So that's on the capital gains tax change. So if you've got an investment property, you need to get – so I'll be valuing my portfolio next July. You will be as well.
Absolutely.
Because we want the cost base set there. You might want to get it as high as possible, but which only a valuer can do, but or the market. So you just want to do that. So that's on the – and so, okay, so all that to say, this line in the sand for 1st of July 2027, if you were thinking about offloading a property or any asset, you might just go, all right, well, I'll just do it before then, and then there's less paperwork or calculation. But all this crap gets worked out. Like we're not lighting our hair on fire with a policy change to fire sale staff or get rid of it to save tax, because I'd still rather it in the market and growing than saving a little bit on tax.
Yeah, I don't think for a lot of people who are holding properties long term, I don't think they're going to feel a big difference.
No.
When I've seen that modelled out with a few different scenarios, it's not what people think it is, and I think it will take some time for people to understand what's actually changed.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the negative gearing, here's the slide I prepared earlier.
This is a great slide.
Yeah, so how it works, going forward, and apologies if you are driving, I'll try and explain it, but it is going to be best seen. In year one, so if we bought a property tomorrow, right? Or 1 July next year for absolute purity. 1 July next year, we buy a existing property as an investment property. The 1st of July, the rent for the year is $36,000. The expenses for the year are $45,000. So it could be interest costs, could be some body corporate. That means there's a $9,000 loss that year, because the rent was less than the expenses. When it comes to this net loss or the net result, there's actually a bank, right? So we bank $9,000, okay? So the negative gearing still exists, but it appears in other places. Ordinarily, at the moment, that $9,000 loss for the year effectively you can write off your employment income.
So if you had 100,000 income, that year you would only be paying tax on 91,000 because that loss came off your PAYG income.
Exactly. So going forward, the property has run at a loss. So that year we've got $9,000 banked, and then this column here is the cumulative carried loss. So we'll go. So the next 2 years, year 2 and 3, same thing, 36.45, 36.45, 9K loss, 9K loss. Each year this $9,000 is banked. By the end of year 3, there is $27,000 banked, right? Now, year 4, things start to change. We've had a big rent increase for the property. Maybe we paid some of the debt down, or the strata levies were reduced or something, and there was $40,000 of rent and only $35,000 of expenses. There is a $5,000 profit on that property. Now, ordinarily, that $5,000 positively geared amount would get added to our taxable income. So if we earned $100,000, we're paying tax on $105 because that's the positively geared. However, because we've got $27,000 from the previous 3 years in the bank, we're going to use $5,000 of that bank to offset that loss. So we do not pay tax that year on the $5,000 gain. What's the problem? Okay, next year, rent, it's gone up to $42,000. The expenses have reduced again, $32,000, and there is a $10,000 profit. Now, because our bank has got $22,000 in it, we're going to use $10,000 out of that. So again, that year, we're not adding 10 grand to our taxable income because we've used the loss that's cumulative from previous years in that asset class, residential property, to do that. Then at the end of the year 5, the bank's got $12,000 in it. The good thing now, though, is that can then move from basically a P&L line item to a capital line item. So if we sold that property or an asset in that asset class, we can actually use this $12,000 to offset the gain. So if it was a $100,000 gain, we could use that 12 and it would only be an $88,000 gain.
That is a great table, and I have had so many clients confused about this, and there's so much misinformation in the media.
We'll clip this and send it to you.
This is amazing. Yeah. Thank you for making this.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's basically what factors are driving some investors to rush to sell their property, their investment portfolios. I would say the factors are not understanding and panicking and not looking long term.
I was talking to my accountant the other day, and she said people are panicking until they come to get their tax done, and then we're explaining the changes, and then they're changing their tune.
Yes.
So it's actually, and that's where I was going to ask about this. So this is I think something's got to, I guess, illustrate it like this to say it's not, negative gearing's not gone. It's just a delayed gratification.
Yeah, you still benefit from it.
Yeah, down the track, because all properties become positively geared.
So in Australia, this negative gearing against your taxable income was an outlier with the world.
Really?
Like this is generally how most of the world work with
keeping it in the same asset class.
Yeah, not against the income.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Thanks for the question.
That was a really good explanation.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. James says, I have a question that I don't see discussed very often. Diversification of brokerage accounts. Once funds exceed the government guarantee threshold, e.g. $250,000 per institution, and considering the rare but real cases of brokers going bust, how do investors with larger balances typically diversify to protect against brokerage risk? I'd like to understand strategies both within super and outside super for spreading risk across brokers or custodians. Please deep dive into this on one of your podcasts. Thanks.
So James, don't tell me what to do. I will not deep dive, but it probably will right now.
He absolutely will.
I love a deep dive. Okay, so I read this. There's a couple of things being conflated here. There is the $250K guarantee, bank guarantee per institution, and then there's a custodian question with superannuation as well. So let's start with the government guarantee. So during the GFC, when things were at their worst time, Kevin Rudd introduced a $250,000 bank guarantee per person/account per institution, right? And at the time, I had heard that the reason why is like one of the big five, I think Suncorp or something, was like 4 days from running out of cash. Like there was a bit of a run on the bank. So that's why they've stepped up and go, we'll guarantee banks up to $250K. So a couple of things. In the background, the $250K, it's less of the personal guarantee. It's more of the government guaranteeing the bank.
Yes.
Right? For a bank to go under in Australia, we would need to have a worse situation than the GFC, and also it would mean that a bank, like I just think APRA is too strong to allow banks to start up without, like to get a banking license in Australia from APRA, good luck. Like it took Vanguard Super like 2-3 years to get the super permit from APRA. Like it's very regulated in Australia in terms of banks. So the bank account guarantee, if I had $500,000 in my CBA account and then in my ANZ account, or $250 in each account, if both banks went under, the government, in theory, could step in and guarantee those accounts for the bank, right? But if I had 500 in there, it's only getting the first $250K.
Yes.
So that's the first reason. Now, when we're talking about brokerage accounts, so for example, with CommSec, the broker, the cash account in there, and some check different brokers have run, I'd imagine it's the same with NAB Trade, is the bank account in your name is just a Commonwealth bank account, and that would be covered under the $250K guarantee. Even though there's the brokerage account layered around it, that's just a bank account with CBA in your name, and that would be covered.
Yep.
The issues, and there's just so much here. The first one is like, why, if you've got cash at work over $250, so if you've got available cash, you're either running the risk of keeping it in cash and it being eroded by inflation long term, that's a risk, or buying shares or growth assets to inflation-proof your money, and that's also a risk. But I know what risk I would want to take if I don't need the money.
Yeah.
And that's investing for the future. So I think that's kind of the real rare case of brokers going bust. Well, I mean, if the broker goes bust, the bank account's in your name and your $250K is safe. If it's a E-Trade or a CommSec, it's on HIN, it's going to get transferred to you. To the other side of the fence, with the custodian arrangement, for example, Superhero or BetaShares Direct or Sharesies or insert investing app here, that money is not invested with the trading company. It's on custody. There's a custodian that manages that. If that, so for example, we'll pick on BetaShares Direct. BetaShares Direct, if there's one bank account that holds all the investors' money on custody, that one bank account may have access to the $250 guarantee, but there could be $20 million in there from all the different customers. So it still gets the benefit, but because the account is on custody, it's not a direct benefit to you. Does that make sense?
I got lost with the custodian part. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. Those who know, so basically when you invest through CommSec or E-Trade or Self-Wealth, there's a direct brokerage and you buy shares on the ASX and you get a HIN number assigned to those shares.
Yep.
So if CommSec went under, if NAB Trade went under, if Self-Wealth went under, log into the ASX portal and go, the broker is not them anymore, allocate the shares back to me or whoever. Custody arrangements are like your super funds. So like Australian Super, Aware Super, ART Super, the money is on custody for the benefit of the members. So if the operational entity of insert super fund here went under, well, the money's separate in separate pot because it's under custody.
I've got it now.
Yeah. So superannuation companies are custodians of retirement assets.
Yes.
So in theory, if the super fund's got one account that's a cash account with a bank, that would get the 250K limit. But if there's millions and millions of dollars in cash, well, because me as the end user, I've just got an access to a benefit of the money that's on custody. So all that to say, questions like this, yes, we do need to understand the lay of the land, but I really believe that in Australia, particularly with custody and particularly with banking institutions, it's a very low risk environment. And I dare say inflation might be a slightly higher risk for cash that is not invested if you need it in the next 5 years. Whoa. So James, chill out, bro. It's all good in the hood. That's what I'm saying. But one thing you need to check is the custodian arrangement. So what are they doing with the money on custody? Are they lending out shares? Are they putting options contracts with the shares on custody? Is there debt? Is there property in that custody pool that could put the custodian at risk? I don't think there is for most share brokers in Australia that operate on a custody arrangement. I don't have any of my investments on HIN. They're all on custody. In fact, most of the wealth in Australia is on custody.
Okay.
So yes, absolutely. I'm not doing a deep dive on that. Well, we might leave it there. A bit of housekeeping and then we're going to jump to an after party. Rach and I, our book is out now, the Quick Start Guide to Your First Property. If you're a friend of the show, if you know someone who, and I mean, we've been yapping about this book for so long. In fact, everyone, I'm really sorry. I actually went too early with the marketing on it, so sorry about that. The next
you can
book,
actually get it now.
You can actually get it now. I can tell you right now, the book that we're releasing in October, I'm not talking about it until a month before it's due. And that book is called, no, we're talking about this one, The Quick Start Guide to Your First Property. Please, if you love what we're doing here at the show, there is one way that you can support the show other than listening. You can forward it to a friend or family member. You can engage in the Facebook group, or you can buy this book as a gift for someone in your life. If you already own a home and you want to buy an investment property, even though you've got your first property, this will really help you get back in the game with what to look out for with the investment fundamentals. So
yes, buy it for your niece or nephew that is starting to study university right now or finishing up high school.
Yeah, or your friend's birthday.
Yes.
Or anything like that. But yeah, that's all good. And just in the final housekeeping before we end it and do a bit of an after party, just with the What Would Glen Do's, everyone, we are getting back into them again. I just wanted to say for the record, you need to know if you come on that show, I will absolutely tell you what I would do. That's not being mean to you. That's not being like, I honestly care about you. I'll tell you what I would do, but you're an adult and you can make your own choices. I'm just telling you what I would do.
My vote is for unhinged, Glenn.
Well, and that's it. And if we decide to clip up clips to promote the show and cut a reel with you in it, like, and just be warned, like, we will use the episode for entertainment and for learning, but we would never publish anything that's intentionally mean. And at the end of a recording, if someone was freaking out, we would delete parts, which we haven't had to. But if I think it needs to be a bit like, oh, you've seen it before, everyone, I will make them go anonymous and they will be completely anonymous if I think I'm going to have a run at them because there's something red flaggy for me. But again, it's what I would do. So be warned. Like, please come on. I'll be nice to you. I'll tell you exactly what I would do and we'll have some fun. But yeah, that's that. Okay, thanks friends. You've been real. I've been Glenn and this has been Rach Kroon. Bye.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the product disclosure statement, PDS, and target market determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.
Couple of things. How you were on the TV the other day for the book launch?
That was my first time.
It was?
I was very nervous.
You did very well.
Thank you.
How did you feel on live television at the Channel 7 studio?
Look, it's a pretty wild thing to walk into. Like, it was very daunting walking in, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Like anything, the first time you do it, it's scary, right?
Yeah. So Rach did so well, everyone. And we'll put a link to the morning show thing in the show notes if you want to have a look at the YouTube clip.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity to talk about the book, though.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, the reason I look like Bono or Elton John or someone like that.
Elton John,
Elton John, thank you. Is in our studio, it's actually very dark in here because all our lights are on 1%. But the ISO and the exposure or the f-stop and all that with the cameras just brings out the – so on screen it doesn't look dark in here, but it's actually quite dark in here because I actually get headaches under the lights. Not cut out for this, Rach. So I got new glasses the other day and I've got there's another migraine type of lens that you can get. It's the FL40s or something like that. The optometrists, they will know what I'm talking about. But the optometrist said, look, sometimes people have tried the yellow tint if you don't need colour for work and it could help.
Okay. Is it helping?
No. Absolutely not.
But you love them all the same.
But I like seeing the world with this yellow tint. Whoa, it's so blue if I take that off. So they're prescription and they're yellow and they're awesome. Would you want to be – so I said to someone the other day, would you want to walk with me in public with me wearing these?
Absolutely. I asked you to wear them on the TV show and you didn't do it.
I'm too scared.
I'm all
I
about
just
them.
wouldn't want to embarrass anyone I'm with. But look, it's a vibe. I like it. I don't know if I'll continue wearing them, but I just wanted to try them for this episode in full. But they're, yeah.
Bring the captain's hat back.
The captain's hat's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cappy Glenn. And then I wanted to give everyone else how's this? This after party is just for you to rant. So who is the Minister for Transport, New South Wales / Service New South Wales? Because I have got a beef.
What's your beef?
The Minister for Transport is the Honourable John Graham. I want to know who the Minister is for Service New South Wales. I would imagine who is in charge of, because this was just, okay, Jihad Dib. Okay, yeah. So Jihad Dib. Jihad is the Minister for Customer Service and Digital Government. Minister. Okay, so if there's any like media monitoring software out there that's picking up the name Jihad Dib, I'm glad I've got your attention. This has happened to me before. I've had media monitor stuff.
Really?
I've got phone calls from.
And what do they say? Don't say that name?
Well, no. So I shat-canned a company once, rightly so, because they were rubbish. And it might not even be media monitoring. People hear it and it gets to the company. So I go to service. I just think this is outrageous, right? So I've got my new whip, everyone.
It's a work in progress, not a physical whip.
No, it's my whip. So I ended up buying a 2019 Lexus RC 350 F Sport. It's black, coupe,
Red
leather seats. Match my underwear. It's sexy town, isn't it?
It actually is. I'm not a car person, but that is a very sexy looking
I did
car.
spend 20 grand more than I was going to because I was just going to get a 30 grand one. But I wanted the black. And it's 2019. I only got 40,000 kilometers on it.
Fantastic.
So it's like, mwah. So anyway, I have purchased this car from Victoria, did it online, sent a mechanic down to look at it, did the deal over text because I'm allergic to used car people. So we just sorted it out. And I'm like, oh, when you send it up, can you give me the tax invoice and just break down, because it's $1,200 to get it shipped up here. And so I'm like, I want the car price and the shipping. So when I got the blue slip, because that hadn't been registered in New South Wales, like it came unregistered. So I had to go get the blue slip. Then I went to service on Monday and she was lovely. And I'd filled out the form and it's like, what's the buy price of the car? Something like $56,000 delivered, including everything, right? So I've worked out the GST's this, because surely you don't pay stamp duty on the GST when registering a car. And then I worked out the less than $1,200. So on the form, they're like, what was the purchase price of the car? I put like $50,201.75, right? Get up there, she's like, oh, we need the tax invoice. All right, screenshot it, emailed it. No, we can't have the screenshot. We need like the actual tax invoice email. I'm like, oh, far out. Like, so I forwarded them that. And she's like, all right, so just on the purchase price, we have to go off the 50, because it was like 56,000 square or something like that, 56,500.
Even with the transport and everything?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, so you're telling me, so the $2,000 stamp duty that I paid to get the car registered includes the GST. I get charged stamp duty on the GST of the car and the $1,200 travel delivery cost. It's friggin' outrageous. Like, it's absolutely outrageous.
And was that right?
Yeah, she showed me on the RMS website. She's like,
wow.
the cost of the purchase includes delivery costs, tax,
I was waiting
GST.
for that wasn't the case.
Nope. And that's why I wanted an itemized invoice, because I'd never had a car bought interstate unregistered and all that. I was outrageous. But can you believe that?
I would not have thought.
Like, it's disgusting. It's like I'm paying GST.
Tax on
like,
tax.
sure, that's a national thing, but New South Wales gets the benefit of the GST. And then I get to pay stamp duty on the $5,000 GST and the $1,200 delivery cost. It's freaking outrageous. It's disgusting. Should ask me my opinion of it.
Okay, tell me what you really think about it, Glenn.
And then I said to her, I'm like, well, I really can't whinge. I just paid an extra $500 for personalised plates. So there's that. Let's get out of here.
Cool plates.
Yeah. If you're in Newcastle and you see a black RC50 Lexus with a custom number plates that don't make sense, you'll know it's me. They won't make sense to anyone. There's some letters. Because I didn't want to be like that loser who's just like wealth or money. Or invest.
Sold.
Yeah. I just don't like the, sold. Real estate is, oh my gosh. Or listed.
Oh.
Or another, I don't want that BS. I just don't like the normal plates. So I'm like, I want something that's only I know what it means. So they're like letters.
I like the everyday plates. I don't want anyone to know who I am. If you'd seen me drive, you would know why.
Yeah, I know. How many at-fault?
15 at-fault accidents.
Rach said 15 at-fault accidents, guys. And just some final housekeeping. If you are in Newcastle area and you need a plumber, I want you to just email the team if you need a recommendation for a plumber, because Benny, he's just moved up from Sydney. He's got family, 4 kids, And he came out to connect my dishwasher this morning.
Oh, that's who was here this morning.
Yeah, and because I got a dishwasher for the studio, everyone. I saved so much money with that dishwasher. So much money. Because I got a quote to redo the whole kitchen. So it was going to be $6,000 for the whole kitchen to be redone.
I thought you were going to do another bench.
That's what I thought. I was like, I'll remove the kitchenette, do a new one with a return, extend it. It was going to be like, no, it was $5,000 for the cabinets and joinery and the bench top and the sink. Then I got a quote to install it all. It's going to be another $5,000. And I'm like, I want a dishwasher, but I don't want to pay $10,000.
And that's a really slimline one.
And then I got the 45 centimeter wide one. Moved the fridge over to the left a little bit, slid it in next to the bench, got more bench space, and dishwasher's $1,300. Got Benny to come out, connect it today because I needed it because it's a feet further away from the sink. So we had to extend the drain and the inlet. So basically, yes, $1,700 ordeal as opposed to $10,000.
Well done.
Literally, I made $7,000 by that decision.
What are you going to spend it on?
Don't know. My life. So, yeah, if you want a plumber in Newcastle, his name's Benny. And let me just find the business name.
Because it can be so hard to find
he was a good guy as well.
Too.
Benny's Plumbing Services, BENNYS, Plumbing Services. Honest guy, because he surprised me because he even put the kitchen drawers back in for us.
Very nice.
So very, very good local plumber in Newcastle, everyone. So that's kind of all that's happening in my world, Rach. Do you have anything to add?
No, not at all.
Well, should we take off?
We should.
Thanks so much for hanging around, everyone. Wow, it's so blue with these off.
Keep them on.
I will. All right. I've been going home at like 3 o'clock the last couple of weeks. Just over it. I'm so done. Having a break. I'll be back next week.
He needs a holiday.
I do.
Let's give Glenn a holiday.
I just cancelled 2 international trips because I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't even be bothered having a holiday.
You need a break.
Yeah. I cancelled Bali as well. That was going to be next week. But, yeah. A holiday when I'm dead. How about that? All right, bye.
Bye.